Hey everybody, a hot show at a hot and very busy time of the year. Stick around for this edition of Sports Central. Hey everybody, and welcome to Sports Central. I'm Mark Jackson. To my right, Mr. Hank Longo, and welcome to the show, everyone. We got a great lineup today, and
we do.
Somebody to thank. Yeah.
We want to thank the folks at Harry's Seafood Bar and Grill for sponsoring our first segment, and a little pause to thank the folks at Under Armour too, who we have a great relationship with, and as you can see, we're in our Under Armour attire today.
Yeah, even the shoes. Camera can't quite pick up on that one, but anyway, great partners, and really, good corporate partners. We talked a lot about Publix and Coca-Cola being good partners of Polk County Tourism and Sports Marketing. But the fact of the matter is, Under Armour's, worldwide global brand has really stepped up to the plate, and they've done a lot.
Been a great partner.
Oh,
great partner.
No doubt about it. So anyway, Hank, you've been starting to get into your favorite time of the year, and yes. I don't mean March Madness, because you are the basketball aficionado of the office, I think.
Well, Neil probably has got that title.
Well, he's from Indiana. Yeah.
But it's fun to watch. It's fun stuff.
But water skiing is starting to kick off a little bit now. All-American tournament coming up this weekend. Yeah. That's a big deal.
That's a big deal, and it's getting to be summer, and in about a month, we're going to really kick off the summer with the most festive time of the year for water skiing with the Hall of Fame inductions. And
great meeting this morning with Tracy Mattis,
the executive director.
Executive director of the USA Water Ski and Wake Sports Foundation, and she's also on the committee, part of the selection committee for the 2024 games, hoping to get Olympic Summer Games, that is, get water skiing
in the Olympics,
back into the Olympics.
With the cable park.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so that's big news.
Some neat stuff coming up.
Well, a lot of really cool stuff going on, and of course it's talking about a hot show at a hot time of the year. Well, this is unbelievably busy. The Tigers are just starting to wrap up, another week or so to go with their spring training and all that's going on. Went to the Astros game yesterday. That was phenomenal. Tigers really look good. I was impressed. Gardenhire's done a great job, but running, is hot at this time of the year too. And the guy that we brought in to help us kind of dissect what's going on in the world of running, if you will, is Mr. Marc Zimmerman, Senior Economic Development Director, but former Senior Sports Marketing Director for Visit Central Florida and Polk County Sports Marketing. Mr. Zimmerman, that's a long title to get into what we're going to be talking about.
Now that we got to introduce you, we just ran out of time.
We're sorry.
You can join us for the show.
Thanks, guys.
Always good talking to you.
Yeah. Hey, Mark, one of the things that you came up with is a way to sort of combine a bunch of races into a series. Running, first of all, running's a big sport here in Polk County. Puts a lot of heads in beds and puts a lot of money into our local economy, money coming from outside in, not just recirculating money within the community.
Yeah, so you kind of alluded to it. The event the series of events we're talking about is called the Run 863 series. We're halfway through right now. The first two races, the first one was the Carillon Classic at Bok Tower. It's the only race that you get to run through the gardens. So it's the only time they do that all year. The second race this year was the Torch Run in Winter Haven. So we partnered with the Winter Haven Police Department and included that this year. And then coming up, actually tomorrow, so if you're watching live today, tomorrow, if you're watching on the tape, you probably have missed it. But the Safari Wilderness Run, again, an event at Safari Wilderness.
Tell us about Safari Wilderness first. What's Safari Wilderness?
To go around.
Yeah. So Safari Wilderness is it's a kind of preserve, a ranch for African and Asian animals. Most of them are they have a lot of different cattle type animal, but they have camels and lemurs, and it's really a lot of fun. It's a wonderful place. You're going to see animals there that you will not see in Polk County anywhere.
Buffalo.
Really, yes. Zebras, I mean, there's all kinds of great interactivity that you can go on there. You can go on an expedition, you can go on a kayaking tour, you can do lemur feedings. But we're doing a race through their ranch. It's close enough to a 5K. It is a kind of a ranch, a farm. It is an off-road race. So it is what you get when you roll out there. So if it for some reason rains overnight, it's going to be muddy. If not, it's going to be great. But again, like Carolina Classic, it's the only race that they do through the Safari Wilderness Ranch. People will have the chance after the race to interact with some of the animals that are right around their welcome barn, and they're doing specials for lemur feedings as well. But it's the second year we've done this race. We actually sold out at 200 runners,
Wow.
so we're very excited about that. So
you have to limit it to 200?
Yeah, it's kind of a tight area that they have to run through. There's sometimes they have to double back on themselves, so the runners are crossing paths. So you have to keep it kind of to a restricted number. So 200, we're trying to figure out some ways in the future to expand that a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, we actually just sold out today. We hit 200 runners, so we're very excited about that. But it is a wonderful place to go if you get the opportunity to go there.
Well, the lemurs, when people don't know what lemurs are, they're kind of like a monkey. A little monkey would probably be one way to squirrel monkey maybe, but
Sure, yeah.
kind of hard because they're
You know a lot
just
about
this unique
monkeys.
little.
Well, why is that?
Oh, I hang out. When I lived in the jungle, I was great friends with the monkeys,
Yeah, okay.
the apes, tigers, anyhow. And they love to
boy.
eat grapes. So you can bring them
Yes,
grapes
the
and
grapes.
they'll grab them out
Yep.
of your hand and eat
Yeah.
them, and they have like little human hands.
Right.
It's just kind of a very unique experience to have these little fellas eat out of your hand. But the other thing about Safari Wilderness, if you've never been out there, all these animals, they're not like in a pen. They're not.
No.
They're
No,
not
absolutely
fenced
not.
in at
Yep.
all. It's just this big open ranch, and they just roam like they were in their own natural habitat, which makes it such a unique place to actually go see them. Is you're just seeing them roaming around. They're
Right.
just not stuck in a little area.
Yeah,
where
it's
you
not
can-
a zoo. It's not
Exactly.
you are riding along when you go on the safari. You are riding along with the animals right there, and when you get the opportunities to feed some of them, you can do that.
Now, this is a question in regards to that. Just thinking of it, how are they running so that
Yeah.
they're not
Yeah.
not in the way of the animals or
Yeah,
intruding on the
so
animals?
we don't. There is one field that they can move the animals from. And that's the field we run through. So you do run along a fence where some of the animals are right up at the fence, but we can't put the people out there with the animals. Some of those animals have rather large horns. You don't want to run into them. So that would be a problem. Yeah, that's we thought it would be a really cool idea, but we
doesn't
realized
work.
it's probably safety-wise probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic run. You talked about the lemurs. We went with the lemur theme this year, so the shirts and the medals and the awards all have
And
lemur.
everybody gets
lemur.
a little something too. When they
Yes, you
go
get a
to this
medal, a
event.
shirt for the finishers. Then the top three in each age group will get a mason jar this year. So it's the award we went with. But I don't want to miss out. So the last race in the series is the Tiger Trot, which we've changed up a little bit this year. The Tiger Trot is going to be actually a night race. So it'll start at
Really?
5 p.m. They have a game that night. So the game starts at 6 p.m. And in the past, we finished on the field. We obviously had to change that a little bit because you can't be out there while they're taking BP.
Yeah.
So you're actually going to finish in the new runway area, which is just beyond right field.
Okay.
So it's pretty exciting. We'll be able to finish while the game's even going on. If you participate, you're going to get 2 tickets to the game that night, so you can stay. We're encouraging people. And along with that night, it happens to be, it's April 20th. It happens to be the day before Easter. So the Tigers are also doing a Easter egg hunt after the game, and being a Saturday, every Saturday at Tiger Town or Publix Field at Joker Marchant Stadium, I should say, they have fireworks for every home game. So during the Flying Tigers season.
So you get Easter egg hunt, you get to run in a 5K, you get to watch a game, and you get fireworks. Now this is like a family day extraordinaire.
Absolutely, yeah. It's really that's kind of why we moved it to right before the game, to give that feel and let people stay for the game afterwards. The winners of the race, the male and female winners, are going to get to throw out the first pitch for the game. So it's some exciting stuff, some unique stuff. I don't know anybody that's doing a race like this right before a game. And really, I mean, for those who are walking, and it's open to walkers as well, you know, some of them may be finishing while the game has started. But it'll be fun. We're looking forward to it.
Wow, that's fantastic.
You know, it's a
yeah,
different.
they put on. They're so family oriented there at, you know, at Tiger Town at the Joker Market Public Stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You throw all that in there.
Oh,
but
it looks like looks like $1 million. You know,
It's
I won't say the price
unbelievable.
tag, but it's just you know, absolutely phenomenal experience over there. And I've had so many people say that is the best ballpark, you know, in the entire Grapefruit League. And then all of a sudden, last week it comes out that they were voted the best spring training facility in the entire Grapefruit League in Florida.
wow.
So that was truly
That's
an
a
honor and
feather in their cap.
yeah, and I think it's a testament too, because so much of the work and the design and so on was done locally. And so what does that tell you about the
About the
level of talent and
that
the
they
eye
have.
for perfection and world-class facilities? We've got it right here in Polk County.
Yeah.
So that
definitely.
was cool, really cool. Anyway, so Mark, this is a part of a you know, kind of the original thing, it's part of a 4-part series.
Yes.
If people want to get involved,
Yep.
where do they get more information?
The best place to get information is just on our website, centralfloridasports.com. You can find all the individual race information there. You can register for the race, and I didn't want to leave out, if you run it 3 out of the 4 races, you will get an extra medal for the Run 863 series.
Wow. Yeah.
And 863, what is?
You know,
the area code we
yes,
have
the area
here?
code. Yes, the area
Okay.
code we live in. You know, the races are around the county.
Okay.
You know, they're not all in one location.
Okay.
It was kind of again a way to showcase the area, and we were trying to be creative a little bit with the name, but it is, like I said, it's designed to showcase different things and give
cool.
people the opportunity to run in places that they don't normally get to.
You know,
Very
it's part of an educating, I would imagine, too. Even, you know, I know there's a lot of out-of-town people that come to this, but it's also an opportunity to educate the locals about this is what we have to offer here, you know, and so they get up
Yeah,
close
if
and
you've
personal.
never been out
Yeah.
to Safari Wilderness, it's like you're like in a whole different world. You
Oh,
know,
yeah,
when
it's
I
awesome.
mean, it's just like here, this is in Polk County, you would never, you know, believe it when you go out there. And,
Absolutely.
you know, experience it. Even if you're not going for the run, just to get out there and go to Safari Wilderness, you'll have a fantastic time.
Mr. Zimmerman, thank you so much for joining us and bringing us an update
Yeah.
on the 863 race. And again,
appreciate it.
Safari Wilderness, March 23rd, and Tiger Trot, April 20th, centralfloridasports.com if you'd like more information. Well, we've got some great footage and a special guest coming up a little bit later in the show by the name of Greg Gibson. He's a flying expert and VP out at Sun and Fun. And yes, that's just 2 weeks away. So we're really excited about that, honored to have him. But here's some footage from last year. Check it out, everybody. Our very own Jessica Roberts playing host. Stick around. We'll be back right after this.
Hey, I'm Jessica, and we're in Lakeland today at Sun and Fun. We're going to take in the sights and sounds of this annual fly-in and expo. While you're here, check out the cool helicopter the U.S. Army has on display. From souvenirs to fine art and engine oil and autopilot systems, there's something for everyone when you're shopping in the hangars at Sun and Fun. Peachy's Baking Company from Sarasota is here, and you can't leave Sun and Fun without having the donut. Whether it's warbirds or vintage, there's plenty of planes to see at Sun and Fun. One of the coolest things about Sun and Fun is your ability to attend seminars. Going on right now is woodworking, sheet metalworking, and the latest on welding instruction and demonstration.
These are ribs for a Pete and Paul air camper, and they'll eventually, more than likely, end up inside of an airplane. And so, you know, people can come in and build them like Miles here. He just came in, he's interested in building a wooden airplane, so we got him building these ribs. First time he's doing it, he's doing a real excellent job at it.
Good.
This is my brother Dan.
Hello.
Hi, Dan.
Hello? Yeah, these go inside the wing then. These make up part of the wing. They're ribs.
And we're doing a little experiment because they call it experimental aviation, where these staples are a little hard to pull out. They actually hold the gussets down while it's drying. And normally we would just kind of get a little screwdriver and pull them out. We're trying a little experiment where we can just pull them right out.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that's why half of them are like that. Over here, they're building ribs for a different aircraft called a Volksplane. That's made out of plywood.
So what we're doing, this is Stewart Systems. It's an aircraft covering process, and we're putting the fabric onto an aircraft surface. You do this on a wing, you do this on tail surfaces, you do this on control surfaces, and basically it's a Dacron fabric. We're gluing it on, and then we're shrinking it on, and then we're actually sewing it onto the surface, and then we'll go ahead and we'll paint the surface, and then put a color coat on top of that. This has been around since the Wright brothers. They were using cotton. We now use the modern polyester fabrics and so forth, and it's just really shrunk on there nice. It's a simple process we use. This material we use is a waterborne, non-toxic. I literally do this in my kitchen with my wife home, and there's no problem with that. It works out really good. So what these guys are doing, these gentlemen here came yesterday and they did the first part of the fabric, and the others are going through the process and learning how to do it. So it's just learning how to, it's kind of a dying art. But if you go see any Piper Cub, any of the older aircraft, they're all covered with the fabric. And the fabric will last 20 or 30 years and then has to be replaced. So it is something that has to be constantly learned and done. It's a relatively easy process. It's not that difficult to do. And I find it an enjoyable thing to do. My grandkids work with me on it. We do Girl Scouts at our house, and I've had the Girl Scouts working on this stuff with me. So it really is a nice product to use and a nice system to use, and it's fun with kids. Works out really well.
That's it. We're loading up and flying out. We'll see you next year at Sun and Fun International Fly-In and Expo in Lakeland.
Everybody, welcome back. Segment number 2, Sports Central. Mark Jackson along with Hank Longo.
Hello,
and
everybody.
Some great footage from Sun and Fun. You know,
yeah.
that is, I always look forward to that every year. It
It's
is such a
amazing
great
event.
another family-friendly event here in Polk County. You know, 200,000+ visitors
Amazing.
from, I think, well, Greg Gibson's going to be on. We aren't going to get into it too much. I don't want to steal any of his thunder.
But as we get underway with segment number 2 here on Sports Central, we want to thank the folks at BSN Sports for sponsoring this segment.
Absolutely. Well, one of the things we are so proud of here in Polk County is the goodwill, if you will, that extended from Polk County to the folks up in Panama City Beach and Mexico Beach. you know, after Hurricane Michael went through and literally destroyed both communities and large parts of those communities, well, unfortunately, the Ironman, the full Ironman, Florida Ironman, could not take place because of the damage. Well, ended up in 2.5 weeks putting that race together in Haines City and made it work. Well, we've got one more coming. Coming up in April, we have the Ironman 70.3, which is a half an Ironman. And here to talk about that and what's going on with the Ironman organization, Alan Mendez from the Ironman. How's that, Alan?
Perfect.
So
Thank you for having me.
You bet. Well, you're a Claremont native, and you know, traveled to the main headquarters in Tampa, and you know, so you're on the road quite a bit with Ironman. But it's got to be nice to be able to come into your own backyard to do another half an Ironman here in Polk County.
Oh, yes. No, it's a beautiful area to be in, and I'm one of the locals, so that's one reason why I was a target for possibly taking this job coming into it. And it's been nothing but a great experience working with the Polk County staff and Lake Eva Park and all the city officials involved that really just welcomed us with open arms and helped us produce a good event here in this town.
Well, you get quite a few runners here coming to Polk County for this event.
Yes, we're looking to race about 1,700 athletes will be coming into the community here from all over the world. We have a lot of people that follow the series, and we have nothing but great feedback from them with their experience here in Haines City.
Well, you know, once again, Mark, it's kind of another great example of the relationship between Polk County Tourism and Sports Marketing and Haines City. And, you know, those two coming together to work with Ironman and give you the type of event that you want people to keep talking about, you know, and say, hey, they treat us well. Lake Eva Park is gorgeous. You got the lake there, and really a great venue for having an event.
They really did an amazing job putting the park together with the aquatic center that allows the athletes to warm up when we're not doing our practice swim that we offer on Saturday.
That's interesting.
You know, all the facilities that they have there is just very friendly to any of the spectators that come in and, you know, want to watch their families and cheer them on. It's just a beautiful area.
Well, it's interesting you say come in because the festival-like environment and the shops and the, you know, the retailers, even some of the wholesalers that are there, it forms a complete village. So people, if they're into running, cycling, or swimming, you can go and get the latest gear. You can check out the latest, you know, trends and all of that type of stuff. And you guys are still doing the educational seminars, I understand it.
Yes, we have a swim clinic and bike clinic that we're actually doing. So on Saturday during the practice swim, since it's our relay championship we have with the event, people that are in the relay that are more focused on the bike and the run and aren't the strongest swimmers, they actually have a chance to get out there and get trained by certified coaches that'll give them great pointers, and you know, if they want to really pursue their career with racing.
Do you know what some of those are? What I mean, so you run good, you bike good. Where could you be lacking in your swimming?
Open water
swimming,
yes,
so it's
a different
than
experience.
being in a pool going up and down doing laps.
Yes,
and you got people crawling over you. It gets rough out there.
Depending on the weather, also, you know, the water could get choppy, and if you've always trained in a pool and calm water, and you know, it can get very nervous for some people out there if they're not the most experienced swimmer. They could panic, and then you know.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's phenomenal.
Well, you know, when you get into in any sport, it's going to be like this. But there's a technique for each event that you're in, and to be skilled in all three of them, you know, I think it's hard to practice swimming in a lake somewhere unless you're actually up in the northern part, like, you know, in Michigan or Wisconsin or Ohio. You know, you're not really too worried about who you're swimming with in the water like you might be down here. But you know, to be good at all those three disciplines has to take a lot of time for these athletes as well.
It does. A lot of time, dedication, and training a lot of these people put into it before they come into the events. And especially with things in the water, Lake Eva Park, we have somebody go out there and monitor the water, make sure everything's safe for everybody to come out there. So if anybody's from up north and is not used to being around those you know, types of entities in the water, it's not an issue here in Lake Eva.
Yeah, well, you know, you're talking about people from, you know, coming from the northern, but I'm always amazed at the number of foreigners that will travel overseas, and they'll have a vacation around this Ironman because they want to be in Central Florida, they want to be in Polk County, so they can go to the attractions, they can do all this type of stuff.
And they can race.
Yeah, and then they can do their favorite sport, or sports,
Yes.
I guess. So any idea this year about different countries or how many foreigners are coming in?
We
Foreigners?
do have a lot of people from Europe and South America, and we opened up a new series in China, so we have a lot of people that are now involved with trying to get into age group racing and trying to compete to race towards our World Championships series. So we have a 70.3 World Championship that we host in different places each year, and then of course if they do our Ironman event, they get to go to Hawaii for our World Championship race out there.
Now, do the people that compete in this Ironman, do you have athletes at the skill level that they'll go from this one into the full marathon, the full Ironman?
Yes, a lot of them work their way up to that point, so 70.3s are a good way for them to train, even though their plan is to still do Ironmans that year. It still gives them time on the road and competing against people on their each segment of the race and seeing where they can better themselves. And
Well, 70.3. Let's for the viewers that might not be knowledgeable of this, give us a breakdown of each event.
yeah, so they do a 1.2 mile swim, and then they do a 56-mile bike, and then a 13.1-mile run. And then, of course, added into that time is their transition times in between each one of those segments. So they learn and teach themselves on how to save minutes on being fast from getting to the swim, from the swim to their bike. And that's something that the swim clinic will also train them on, is what are the best ways and approaches to actually save on time out there. Going through the aid stations that we have 3 aid stations on the bike. Coming through them and how fast you can do to save time, and just consuming how much liquid and controlling all your levels throughout the race and making sure your body is adjusted
level
and set.
through the whole
Yes.
participation.
Well, the dates of the race: April 12th, 13th, and 14th, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Mm-hmm. So we all know, living in Central Florida, it could be 40 degrees in April in the morning, or it could be 75 degrees, when they kick off the swim, which is not, if you're 40, 45 degrees, that's not fun. No, it's not something I'd want to be doing. But anyway, that's got to be a challenge for a lot of the people that aren't used to Florida. Well, geez, it's 80 every day. Well,
Yes.
sure, on average it is, but not
by about noon.
Yes, try to be fast so you can get off the roads as fast as you can and enjoy some water.
Well, we were having a conversation earlier today about the cycling portion of this. And I mean, it goes up 56 miles.
Correct.
Is the cycling portion, and it goes all the way from Haines City down through Lake Wales, 2 miles on Burns Avenue. I know that because that was the topic of the discussion. But it really doesn't interrupt the flow of traffic because the roads aren't closed. They just regulate it a little bit, and off they go.
Yeah, we keep them with the flow of traffic. In some areas, we do regulate as if it will cause issues with traffic. We have a lot of police staff that'll be in certain intersections to help monitor traffic and not impact the community too heavily when it comes to traffic.
Okay.
When you think of this, and my calculation could be wrong, but I think I might be kind of close on this one. If you take the 30-mile, 50, how far is the bike ride again?
56.
And
The dementia setting in a little early,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
Sport model?
it's hitting me right now. Just before lunch, it'll do it to me. And the run is how far?
13.1.
13. So that's going from like here to Orlando, biking and swimming.
No, thanks.
That's just to give it a perspective.
It's further.
Of how it's further.
It's further.
than-
Yeah, I mean that's, you're looking. That's 69 miles.
It's almost
Plus
from
that 2 miles for the swim, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
or 1.2.
1.2.
It's almost from Orlando.
It's
past
2.4 for the
Yep,
full.
our
Yep.
full distance is double everything. And
Yeah.
when people cross the finish line, they definitely look exhausted. Just imagine doubling that with some of our other events, especially the one we just hosted in November.
Well, it's real
amazing.
interesting, Alan, because one of the things that makes Polk County so attractive is the response that the citizens, think, we're glad you folks are here. You're spending money in the community. You're stimulating the local economy. You keep our taxes low. And you know, that's the importance of sports. That's the importance of bringing these types of events in. And I think the welcome mat has always been open here in Polk County from the citizens that really realize that, hey, this is an important thing to our community. We thank you guys, and I hear it all the time. You know, the good citizens just welcoming these events.
You know, one thing that I've noticed through our event, you know, we have over 1,000 volunteers that are locally come out and help us with aid stations, help us with the community
involvement.
Setting up, and you know, they love the athletes, they love our whole footprint here in Haines City, and one thing I've noticed when we came in November, when we thought about bringing the Ironman event from Panama City here to Haines City, the first thing we all said was, of course we could do this. The community welcomes us. You know, the volunteers are there. You know, everybody wants to be a part of it, and it happened within a month.
And you know, I don't think people realize how hard it is to get volunteers. I mean, to get people, you know, if you're going to be a volunteer, you want them to be dedicated, to show up on time, to be there a allotted amount of time. And what does that say about an event that you can get 1,000 people to volunteer to come to it? And
we call them super captains.
Yeah, there you go.
Makes for a
Captains,
great event.
Well, Alan, thanks so much for joining us. Congratulations on your new position. We certainly miss Tom Zebart. Hopefully we'll see him, you know, in a couple of weeks. But this is going to be an exciting race. Good time of the year, and we'll look forward to it.
Really looking forward to it myself. I'm very excited.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Well, everybody, we've talked about it. We talked about the details, but now we're going to show you. This is Ironman 70.3, just a couple of years ago. Check out some of the action, and Hank and Mark will be back right after this. Stay tuned.
Today is the Haines City 70.3 half Ironman. So it's 1.2 mile swim, 56 mile bike ride, and a half marathon in the hills of Haines City.
I am from Katy, Texas. I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and Haines City is actually a really nice city. I was kind of surprised, to be honest, just because I don't hear much about it.
Haines City's doing great. They're amazing. They treat us well. It's a great venue. I mean, like I said, you just can't beat it. I mean, with the location like this, making it spectator friendly, it might be the best event on, I would say, from a family perspective, where they can keep up with their athlete, and Haines City's just awesome.
The people is amazing, the support, the town, and the run, the three-loop run, the people were amazing.
This is the only course that actually has an MDOT, basically swim course. So it's basically just due to the depth of the water for safety for athletes, for boats to be able to get to those certain athletes. If it was a higher, water, we had a lot of rain, then it possibly we could do an out and back. But with this, we create an MDOT. It is a little confusing, but once the athletes get to do the practice swim and feel it out, it's pretty easy.
I've been training for like 3 months, specifically for this race, and I just swim, bike, and run a lot.
every day.
This is my second half Ironman. I've done quite a few triathlons. I'm mostly a marathoner, and I'm doing the Chattanooga Ironman in September.
I didn't specifically train for this race. We actually, some of us all raced last weekend, but this is just a stepping stone for me on the way to Ironman Vineman at the end of July.
Well, I train for every half Ironman. This for me was a race to measure how I'll be doing on my half this year. I'm planning to go to Australia to the 70.3 World Championship, and this was a training race, although I tapered. And well, I train every week between 15 and 20 hours.
Well, the bike course was really tough, more than some of the races I've been, but it was a really nice race.
You know what? I really like the crowd support on the run. I could tell that the stations really were committed to cheering everyone on as we suffered through. It made it worthwhile. They're really helpful.
My favorite part of the race, it was the bike, especially. I love the course. I love the big hills. It's very challenging. I like it. And also the run was really good too.
My favorite part of the race was the bike. Amazing hills, very safe. I love this race. I will come back for sure next year.
Everybody, and welcome back to Sports Central. A little action from Ironman, couple of Ironman 70.3, that is, just a couple of years ago in Haines City, coming up 12th, 13th, and 14th. The actual race Sunday morning kicks off at about 7 o'clock, I believe. So, but they do go in waves, so it's a staggered start, so you don't have
Everybody
1,700 people all starting at once. But Hank?
It's amazing. Hey, we've got folks at the Holiday Inn Winter Haven. We want to thank for sponsoring this third segment of Sports Central.
Well, Holiday Inn Winter Haven seen a lot of business these days with Russ Mat baseball and all the stuff that's going on. It's been absolutely amazing. And speaking of amazing, the largest convention, yes, it's a convention, classified as a convention, in the state of Florida is right here in Polk County, and has been around for a long time, more than 200,000 people. Here to tell us about it a little bit more is Mr. Greg Gibson. And Greg, great to have you aboard with us. It's always a pleasure.
Hey man, I'm just really glad to be here, Mark. You guys, thank you so much for having us. We love coming down.
Well, you and Lights have really taken Sun and Fun to new heights, no pun intended. You know, since you came on board and you know, working with Lights and so on, we've seen a lot of changes and the growth of Sun and Fun. It's been a huge benefit to the community at a time of the year when we all really appreciate it. So this is the 45th annual.
That's right, 45 years. You know, what's interesting, the last couple of segments, I've got the pleasure of watching those guys and listening to, you know, how those interface with the community and how they support it. And we've got elements there, you know, as well. 45 years of volunteerism. You know, really the whole thing began as a volunteer event. And, you know, the volunteers themselves, you know, in effect were the clients. But then you invite the public in, and they've got that great Southern hospitality that Polk County here is famous for, and they just showcase that out. It just keeps them coming back year after year, and we share that, you know, with like with the Ironman folks, and even the 5K, you know, that we were mentioning earlier in the program. We have the Sun and Run 5K happening out there at the airport now as part of the kind of the latest application of things that go well for the rest of the county. We're going to invite that in as well. So it's a lot of fun.
That's amazing. Well, you know, you give people things to do and get them involved and engaged in the event, and you know, it just makes for even a better event and a better turnout. And the number of people that come to this is what I find to be staggering. Like 200,000 people are going to be coming to this event.
It's astounding. We'll record over 80 countries will be represented. And not only that, you know, recently in the last couple of years, we brought on another component of this, live air show TV, which has gotten, actually we're reaching out beyond the event itself. So it's a global broadcast. It streams live on the weekend program. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we get to showcase even more of what's going on at Sun and Fun here in Polk County. And of course, the folks like especially Visit Central Florida and our folks that Visit Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association are highlighted during that time. And that just invites more to come in to see what the others are getting to see. If they're not here, they're going to want to come next year.
Well, I know Carol Dover with the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association really, you know, appreciates and enjoys the event, and it does a lot for their affiliated members, you know, throughout the region. This isn't Polk County. This goes, you know,
well, it has to with 200,000 people coming in. You know, you've got to.
But and Visit Florida, you know, their charge is to, you know, promote tourism throughout the world, and you know, understanding the global impact and attraction that it has from people throughout the globe. Over 80 countries come to see the latest, the greatest in aviation. It's a phenomenal track record.
It's great, and we have so many different types of enthusiasts represented. So whether you like to build them, if you like to fly them, if you like to watch other people fly them, if you're interested in the technology that drives them, all of those aviation, you know, interests are satisfied there from every level. And of course, that naturally is supported by the STEM education programs that now, you know, with the Aerospace Center for Excellence, Sun and Fun's cause, all of that is supported and goes right back into the community. So you have all of the fun, 200,000 people come in and enjoy this fantastic expo. The proceeds from that are now supporting aviation scholarships and building the next generation of aerospace professionals right here in Polk County. A lot of those actually go back to work right here in the county as well.
Well, it's amazing. The Central Florida Aerospace Academy, which is on your campus, my youngest son was a graduate.
That's right.
Of that, and has about a year of college left, and then goes right into the Air Force as a commissioned officer. So, you know, that's a personal experience about what the mission of Sun and Fun as an organization does, not only for people throughout the world, but for those of us that live in Polk County. It's a great organization.
Oh, definitely. Now, when you have people from 80 countries, over 80 countries coming to this event, do they fly planes from all these different countries into the event? Or?
A variety do. You know, obviously the ones that are coming from across the Atlantic, that's a little bit tougher on them. But we have a ton. Our friends in Canada, you know, we have quite a number of those guys. We use the term unfreezing your bird.
Yeah.
You know, they're kind of bringing that thing out of mothballs after being cobbled up for the wintertime, when they're coming down here to enjoy the Central Florida venue. And of course, they're taking advantage of all the attractions that are nearby. You know, we partner a lot with Visit Central Florida to promote, you know, things like Legoland or Bach Tower Gardens and places like that where people can also go and enjoy the week. You got, you know, maybe it's dad or mom enjoys the air show more than the rest of the family. They got so many things that they can go do. Tremendous Brazilian contingency as well. They've come up. You know, their economy's recovering well now. Yeah. And they're starting to kind of come even more, you know, back. There's always been a strong, you know, presence there, but they've even stronger this year. Some of our pre-sales are indicating that there's going to be quite a contingency from there.
Well, I know that there's a lot of featured events that are going on, but you know, I mentioned earlier in the show that it's a conference. Education is a huge part of it, particularly safety. But you have a lot of other featured things for citizens that live in the Central Florida throughout the world that are really like, hey, this is cool. Probably the highlight this year, at least for me, Blue Angels.
Oh yeah, it's always a fan favorite. They've got such a wonderful, it's a fantastic display. Tight precision aerobatics, and they are truly the epitome of professionalism when they come in there. They are, you know, nip and tuck no matter what they're doing. They're so respectful. The interface with the crowd, you know, that's one of the things I really like and appreciate about the military jet teams. Of course, they're serving our country. They're doing all the things that we want to inspire young people to follow on, but the respect that they show, the way that they come in and address the community. They'll walk up and down the crowd line and do meet and greet. They're actually, on Friday this year, each year actually we have a presentation. We'll have up to 1,000 students from the community will come in a central location, and we have several presentations from the military highlighted by the Blue Angels in this case, and they'll talk to them, and then they'll have a chance to sit and visit with them. And these are high school students, so they're ready to kind of take on their careers. And of course, the major mission of the United States Navy Blue Angels and the Air Force Thunderbirds is recruiting. But it's not just showing, hey, you can be cool like us and fly jets. It's look at the career opportunities, look at how you can interface and take the training that you're going to get from this, apply it in your life, bring this skill set back to your community, and turn that into something that's going to provide value further. So really the values that come along with that experience are what they're promoting, along with the excitement of seeing the world and all the things that come with it.
Well, it's just fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm sure when they're having their times with the students, the question that they're going to ask is, how did you get to be a Blue Angel, and what's it like to go that fast? And it just has to be fun to sit there and
Well,
listen
Greg's a
to
pilot too, though. I mean, you've been
responses
almost a lifelong pilot.
Well, it's been about almost 20 years now. So
well, you're 30, so
yeah, right.
Started as a child.
Time is 10.
30, 20 times now. So, yeah. So that's true, and I'll tell you probably one of the coolest things I've gotten to do here recently is the Blue Angels come in and do their winter visit with us, where they do their planning session. And they came into town, and we're fortunate enough to be able to hang on to, we winter some of the aircraft from the air show performers that are there in town, so we keep them exercised. So I was lucky enough to be able to take the Blue Angels flying. So we put them in the back seat of a couple of the Geico Skytyper S&Js, and we all went up for a couple of flights, and I got to have them in the back seat for a long time.
Have you ever got to fly in one of their jets?
No, that's not been my lineup so far. Maybe someday. I hope so. I did get to go with the Breitling team one time. That was pretty fun.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That was pretty neat.
Yeah, are they going to be around this year?
Breitling?
Yeah.
No, they are actually still in Europe, and I have not heard of them planning another U.S. tour, although we did enjoy them an awful lot. That was a lot of fun to have them here, and another great group of professionals. And so all those guys know each other, so we get to see them out in December. And ICAST, we go to Vegas and our annual convention out there, so it's fun to see them.
Well, we got just a couple of minutes left. Let's get right to some of the details, and some of those details are, okay, I want to take my family. I want to take, girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever it may be. Where can they get information?
Definitely just flysnf.org, just flysnf.org, and everything you need. Really redesign the homepage. There's so much information on there, so we really consolidated that. There's some big buttons right on the front. It's buy tickets, parking, camping, admissions, activities, all that stuff's right there.
Okay.
Easy to find.
Okay. You just go to, you can even just Google Sun.
That's correct. Just
the
Google
letter
Sun
N, fun.
Yep, Sun in fun. That's it.
There you go. Relatively cheap too. It's 10 and under are free, which is fantastic.
That's right.
If you're an adult, daily admission is $37, which is, you look at going to dinner, Disney or whatever. You're talking $150.
Oh, all day.
Yeah, so
even a big dinner, sure.
Yeah, and the one thing that I really enjoy a lot, about Sun and Fun, the focus on military aircraft. And it's so different than the civilian stuff, and it's truly my favorite. But you can literally go up, you can see, you can touch, you can talk to people that fly the planes. It's neat. So it's that up close and personal. There you go. I knew I was going to get that right. I'm thinking about our next little interview. But anyway, the fact of the matter is, Greg, go to the website. Reasonably priced, and it starts April 2nd,
right,
which is right around the corner.
Oh yeah, it's.
I mean, can you believe it's April?
I can. Yeah, I can actually.
Okay.
At this point. It's been a long time coming. We're ready for it.
Well, I tell you, the first 4 months of the year are brutal.
Yeah.
It's absolutely brutal. But it runs from the 2nd through Sunday the 7th.
That's right.
And again, this is a tremendous event, a tremendous opportunity, particularly. My final point is, I think the number is 30,000 shortage in pilots.
Oh, it's close to it's a little over 500,000 is the shortage. 500,000.
That high?
It's 500,000, and the maintainers
pretty
as
close.
well. Yeah, that may be in Florida. You know,
Maybe it is.
So you know, over 1 million pilots and maintainers shortage within the next 20 years. That's
So
according to
talk
a
about
Boeing
a
report.
career direction to follow.
It is, and you know, the unemployment in the United States, everybody looks at those numbers, it's relatively low right now. The economy's doing well, our employment's lower than it's been in a long
3.5%.
time.
Lowest in 49 years.
That's correct. And you know, the only problem with that is that the people that are available to fill those jobs do not have the qualifications to fill the pilot shortage currently. So there is still an amazing opportunity for high-paying jobs for people that want to come through places like where we have the Aerospace Center for Excellence and the Central Florida Aerospace Academy, Polk State, come out of those jobs or come out of those education platforms with a great paying job and an excellent future, and it's right here in Polk County.
Yeah,
fantastic.
And I would venture to say that Polk County is the hub of aviation education and training right here.
Yep.
It's unbelievable. Greg, thanks so much for joining us. We
Glad to be
really,
here.
really
Wednesday and
appreciate
Saturday
it.
night. Wednesday and Saturday night drone show, drone light show. First time we've had one out there, so you guys got to come out. It's only $10 if you come out after 5.
Okay.
All right, I love it.
Great.
Well, everybody, up close and personal, I got it right that time. Well, it's a focus on a Polk County athlete, and we have some wonderful up close and personals coming up. In fact, even some more equestrians with Ashley Wilson, who's a 12-year-old equestrian aficionado. She just won all these different awards. But today, J.D. Southwell from the Summerlin shooting team. These guys are really good. We've had a few Summerlin athletes on before. Coming up next, check it out. J.D. Southwell, superstar on the Summerlin Academy rifle team.
So I'm 17, I'm on the precision rifle team. So I joined my freshman year. It's just something I really love to do. You know, I like to challenge. My family likes to hunt and that kind of thing. So, you know, pistols, shotguns, rifles. I love the challenge. You know, it's always a challenge when you're shooting, you know. Like you shoot really good one day, the next day something comes up and you have to work through it, and it's a good time, I like it. You know what they say, consistency is key. So you always try to keep everything the same no matter what you're doing. Make little changes, you know, little change here, little change there. If it improves, keep doing something like that. If it doesn't, go back to, you know, your consistency. All of my teammates, we've been together here since freshman year, so we're like one big family. We actually just got back from Alabama Sunday. We were at a big competition up there with, you know, national ranked shooters, collegiate shooters, shooters from the Army. We didn't do half bad, actually. Yeah, we were about mid-range between all the shooters. It was actually our first competition out of state as a team, so it was a good learning experience. Okay, so in competitions, we can either shoot as a team or as individuals. So we usually, when we shoot as a team, we usually shoot together, you know, points, say 1 through 5, we're all right there together as a team. And when we shoot as individuals, you know, we're all doing our own thing, but we're still a team. We always try to help each other out. You know, if somebody needs a piece of equipment or somebody needs help getting calmed down or whatever, we always like to help each other like that. Well, this sport is 90% mental and 10% physical, so everything's a mental game. You know, going into a match, some people like to listen to music, some people just like to, you know, hang out with their friends, some people like to be by themselves. You know, it's really a personal kind of thing. Personally, I like to listen to music, you know, keep to myself, run the match through my head, because visualization is a big thing in the sport. That's just me. Well, everything takes time. You know, you don't just like come in and you shoot amazing scores your first, second day. It takes time, it takes training, it takes, you know, the mental aspect of, you know, having to sit there and work through the problems. And yeah, there's always training obstacles. You know, you think you're doing really good, shooting some pretty good scores, then bam, something happens and you're shooting 20 points lower than you usually do. And you have to work through stuff like that. Patience, definitely patience. It's always a good time. You know, I don't like to focus on one thing, I just like to focus on the big picture. Come in, shoot, pick up a gun. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I plan to go to college, do ROTC and enlist as an Army officer, but I also want to shoot rifle in college as well.
Everybody, and welcome back to Sports Central. Mark Jackson along with Hank Longo, if you're just tuning in.
Yep.
And final segment of Sports Central. And it's our, hey, what's the latest and greatest? Before we do that,
final segment of number 4 here on Sports Central. And we got to thank the folks at Contempo Vacation Homes for sponsoring our final segment. We got all kinds of stuff going on. It just keeps rolling right along. And of course, the Lakeland Magic kind of wrapping up a season as they take on the Raptors at the RP Funding Center.
The Lakeland Swan Night, they're always themed.
Yeah.
And it's so entertaining.
Friday and Saturday, last 2 games of the regular season. So,
well, speaking of the regular season, we also have the Detroit Tigers wrapping it up on Monday. So they'll be heading, in fact, their opening game is not in their Comerica Park. It's going to be, I don't even remember where it is going to be, but you can check it out at tigers.com.
Okay.
And then next Thursday after that is opening day in Comerica Park in Detroit. So if you feel like you want to hop on a plane, head up to Detroit, have at it.
Flown by.
Yeah.
Well, the Florida Tropics indoor soccer.
Oh my gosh, that's these guys are doing really, really well. Another entertaining experience, and so many thanks should go out to the Tropics. Both their outdoor professional team and indoor professional team added a lot to Polk County, and you can go to the RP Funding Center and find out what their schedule is. But coming up Saturday, March 30th, Kansas City Comets at 7 o'clock, and the Baltimore Blast on April 6th will be their next 2 games. Hank.
Well, we have had a delightful season again with Russ Matt baseball and 250 plus college teams. 270
New
from
record.
all over the
New
country
record.
playing ball here in beautiful Central Florida, and they're getting ready to wrap it up themselves, and all these students have to go back to cold weather, but spring's coming real soon.
Well, it's really funny because you watch these kids get off, these young men get off their bus, and they've been up in Wisconsin or New York or whatever, and they get off in their bare feet, and all they want to do is step on the grass because their feet haven't touched green grass in months. Yeah, so that's always good. And then the Senior Softball USA. Spring National Championships right here at the Diamondplex, actually Diamondplex and the Auburndale Softball Complex, March 23rd and 24th. That's this weekend if you're watching the show live. And Diamondplex and the, which is in Winter Haven, then of course the Auburndale Softball, 2 of the best facilities in Polk County.
And then the Polar Bear Ice Challenge. You're going, what the heck is that? Well, it's a girls ASA fast pitch tournament for 8B, 10AB, 12AB, and 14AB teams at the Christina Softball Complex. So nothing like watching some girls fast pitch softball.
Oh, absolutely. Well, Hank, we've got some people to thank, and before you do that, I want to remind everybody that our television show has a sister show, WLKF at 5 o'clock on Thursdays, 5 to 6, 96.7 FM and 1430 AM. Make sure you check that out.
Yep, and a big thank you to the folks at Echo Suites, Days Inn, Cypress Lanes, Lakeland Magic, and Office Furniture Depot. Thank you all so much for your support of Sports Central.
Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Our next live show is going to be April 5th. Same bat time, same bat channel, if you know what the old Batman show was all about. But, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take a little extra time, just because I want to say a big shout out to Ron Myers and the crew over at the Detroit Tigers, and what great partners we've been able to, through that relationship, extend the Polk County brand up into Detroit, into Michigan, and now a new partnership with Fox Sports Detroit that is going to make a huge difference in the number of Michigan visitors coming to Polk County. So we are really excited about that. Again, our next live show, everybody, April 5th. Thanks so much for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. We'll see you again next time.